Hi, my name is Allie. Welcome to my channel. I am a fiber artist with Colors of Hope Crafts, and I'm starting this new YouTube channel, Colors of Hope Crafts ASMR, to teach you guys a little bit about fiber art and to show you how amazing and relaxing and fun it can be. Since this is my first video, I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about how I came to ASMR, and also show you briefly my tools that I think make awesome fiber art or awesome ASMR or sounds. That's part of why I'm doing this channel, is because I realized that I have a lot of tools that make wonderful relaxing noises that remind me a lot of what I hear on the ASMR videos. And if you'll notice, what I'm doing right here is I'm knitting. I'm working on a cowl that I made with hand spun art yarn. Art yarn is primarily what I make when I spin and wool on my spinning wheel. And in another video, I will show you my spinning wheel and show you how I do that. This particular yarn, I spun as part of a spinning competition last fall. I entered it as it was my entry is in the wild art yarn section, and unfortunately I didn't win, but it's definitely the wildest art yarn I have ever created, and I'm very excited with how it's turning out and how it's knitting up. As a fiber artist, I knit, crochet, and spin. Those are the primary things that I do. So a little about how I found ASMR. Several years ago, I was in grad school and in need of a way to relax while I was studying and working on papers, and I found an ASMR channel called ASMR Requests, and it was almost like I had found a friend, and it was very relaxing, and it made it able to focus and relax while I was doing all of the studying that I had to do. I think the class I was working on at the time was child development and in early childhood education, and so there was a lot of writing and a lot of reading to do. It was a really fun class and a really interesting class, but it was a lot of work too. You know, I was also going through a really tough time. At that time, because I lost my dad a few years prior, and so it was just a lot to deal with at once, and being able to listen to ASMR was just I can't even really describe how it made me feel. It but it was a huge help to me then, and I still listen to it now to help me relax, and sometimes it helps me sleep, and a lot of people use it to help them sleep, and I think it's an incredible community that we have out there that's helping people, and I want to be able to give back a little bit because it's been so incredibly helpful to me. So these so right now, as I said, I'm knitting this cowl, and I love using bamboo needles like I'm doing right now. They make more relaxing noises than the metal ones or the plastic ones do. Now, I have some metal ones right here. Hear the difference? And these are much louder and higher pitched than the bamboo ones are. But they both serve their purpose as there's I do think the aluminum ones are a little bit easier to use, and they go a little bit faster. But the bamboo one and are much quieter. So if so so if you oh dear. need to take out a couple of stitches. This pattern's really, really cool. Well, you knit or purl depending on the thickness of the yarn. And so this pattern is actually really good for this yarn. And it's because the yarn is, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like thick and thin and so it's very thick in some spots and very thin in other spots. But okay, so enough about the knitting. I'm going to set this aside. One way I use to blend fiber is to use it on a blending board, or like this one. So I'm gonna turn this around so you can see the blending board now, but you can't really see me, but that's okay. Basically, what you do with the blending board is you take the fiber and you just apply it wherever you want the fiber to go. And once you cover the board with the fiber, you take this little brush right here, and you use it to comb down the fibers, get them right down into the teeth, and then you can just start again, and with more fiber. I don't know if you can tell, but I love bright colors. And the thing I love about art yarn, especially, is that you're very free to just do whatever you want with it. And eventually, when you're ready to take the fiber off the blending board, which we're not quite ready to do yet. You can use these little dowel rods right here to roll the fiber up off of of the blending board. I'm going to add a little bit of Fiber Star. It's so sparkly. Yeah. I got this in a package of multicolored yarn. A bag of multicolored yarn and from I believe it's Art Club. It's an Etsy store. So but Firestar is really fun because it adds some sparklies to the fiber, and you really only need a little bit of it to make it, to get the sparkly in there. When I was making this yarn, and I used this to make a bunch of roll eggs. Roll eggs are rolls of fiber, like this one. And although I'm pretty sure I made these on my hand carders, which are right here. Because you'll notice in a minute that roll eggs that come off of the blending board tend to be just a little bit tighter. And both of them spin well. If I'm going to use the roll eggs right away, or if it's just from one braid of roving, and I may just use my hand carders. But if there's to blend it, but if the hand carder, if I want it to be a little neater or a little tighter together, or if I'm not ready to use it yet, I'll often use the blending board. The blending board's also good for if I plan on selling the roll eggs rather than using them myself, because the fibers stay together longer. And then I take these when I'm ready. I take these dowel rods place one behind the other. You can also use knitting needles. And so you start rolling and then you pull back. Start rolling, pull back. And then eventually you'll have multiple roll eggs like this. Yeah, see the difference? We've got, this one's pretty tight together, and this one is is looser. So yeah, so I'll just roll these up really quick for you. And the great thing about art yarn is that you can really put whatever you want into it. And like this one has different types of wool, and I also put some cut up yarn on it, and some sometimes I can get a little tight on there. See? I don't know if you can tell, but it's very sparkly. Part of the reason you want to make rollags is that it's, in my opinion, it makes it easier to spin, and if the wool has already been blended and pre-drafted a little bit, and the carders and the blending board help with that process a lot. Hey there. So, as you may have guessed, something went wrong with the original recording. So we're going to combine two videos that were made on two separate days, but you still will get to see all of the different and fiber tools that I use, with the exception of my spinning wheel, which I will have to show you in another video. The good news is I finished the shawl or the cowl that I was making in the previous video. So I've got this, so it turned out really cool. all, and I'm super excited about that. Also, I made some yarn with the fiber that I was using in my previous video. So for you, it will look like I just went from Rolex to yarn, but I actually had to take some time to spin it and apply it. And this is thick and thin yarn. And I applied it using Navajo ply. So it ended up being a 3-ply, but I only used one strand to get the 3-ply, which is a pretty cool way of doing it. And especially if you don't know how or what you want to apply it to, or if you've got a really cool aesthetic going with one strand, or you have a stripe that going on that you want to keep going. That's one way to do it as well. So you missed out on my hand carders and my combs, so we're going to do that in this section of the video. These are my hand carders, and they make really nice, relaxing noises. And you can use them to make roll-eggs. And the way you do it is by applying the fiber to the comb, like so. And then once you loaded up the comb, you can and start combing and the fiber and getting it all blended together, and it ends up looking really cool. So it's really fun to pick out what fiber you want to use. So we'll see how these turn out. So you just keep, and once you've got it all loaded up, you just start running one comb over the other very lightly. going to mix the fiber and blend it. But also get the fiber is detangled somewhat. Because it's a whole lot easier to spin when the fibers aren't tangled. I'm gonna add some more fiber to this card, or rather to this hand carder. Because I think it needs a little bit more. Sorry, my nose itched. I don't know if you can hear it, but when I put the fiber onto the comb, it's making a nice relaxing sound. Or it's a sound that I find very relaxing. Alright, now it's good and loaded up, and so I can start combing it again. I really like doing bright colors and mixing colors together to see how they turn out. Now when you think they're good and mixed, you can just transfer one card to the other, like that. And what you're gonna want to do, and I don't know if you can really see this on here, but you're gonna roll it up, roll it away from you, and then you've got this nice little roll egg. I'll do another video exclusively on hand carding, and we'll make several roll eggs. But for now, I'm going to move on and show you the combs. Now I know these look like weapons. I swear they're not. But you do have to be careful with them. definitely don't want to leave them sitting on the ground face up with or needles up with your when you're walking around with bare feet. Now, what you're going to want to do with this is you're going to want to press the fiber down on top of the needles, like that. And just keep loading up the comb. It's going to take a little while. But I swear it ends up being worth it. Now, I think what I'm going to do is use some of this lovely purple next. Both the pink and this violet are from merino wool. And merino is incredibly soft. Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun mixture. Now I'm gonna add a little fire star, just to give it some sparkly. I got the fire star from Art Club, and I'll post the link to their store in the comments. And let's see. I didn't get all of this from Art Club, but a lot of it was from Art Club. And it was pretty cool. It came in a bag. It was half a pound, and it was called unicorn poops, presumably because it had basically every color of the rainbow in it, and it ended up looking and so far everything I have made from the bag from them turned out really good. So I will be posting a link to their shop in the description of this video. I've got a lot of really cool combinations. Let's see, is there anything else I want to add? I think I'm going to add a little bit of this tinsel. This is going to be so soft. I can already tell it's going to, and I can already tell it's going to be really pretty. So now that I've got my fiber loaded up on the combs, I'm going to start blending. So what you do is you just start combing it at perpendicular to to the fiber, or rather to the other comb. I think I'm going to take this off so it doesn't get hooked by the comb. Sometimes you need to turn it around and start passing through the other way. See how it's coming? Once I'm done with this pass through, I think I'm going to do one more pass through. And the pass is just where you keep going back and forth across this until you've gotten all the fiber removed from one comb. What's cool about these combs is that you can use it to make your own roving. And like this right here, this is called roving. And to be able to mix different braids together, or different braids of roving together, so that I can make my own roving. And now there's only a little bit left on here, so I'm gonna just lightly tug. And some of this I will be able to use when I spin. So I'm trying to remove it very gently. Because even smaller pieces of handmade roving are usable. I think that's about it for that. And now there are lots of different ways you can do this, but this is how I do it. Now I just pass it back through. So again. This time I do a little bit more turning as I go. This isn't the technical and official way of doing it, but it's a way that works for me. And one thing you'll learn with fiber art is that even though there are official ways of doing things, and there are some of us in the fiber community who would say, if you find a way that is comfortable and works for you, go for it. It's much better to have a way that works for you than to be frustrated by it. So fiber art is supposed to be fun. If you like the sounds that are coming through. I think this rubbing's about or rather this fiber is just about perfect. So, and I'll finish pulling out this in a minute. Just start gently tugging, but you gotta make sure that you don't pull too hard. But ideally, you want to have it be longer than the staple length of the fiber. And every type of sheep is going to come with a different staple length. Staple length is how long the fiber, each strand of fiber. Is. But if you can get it longer than the staple length, then it's a whole lot easier to spin. I love how this turned out, by the way. I love it. It's going to be really fun to spin, and I'm going to have to make more of it. Well, it's getting late, and I hope you guys enjoyed, right, day 1 and day 2 of Colors of Hope Crafts ASMR. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button, and so you can hear more videos or see more videos. And if you like the fiber or the yarn that you've seen on today's video, you can check out my shop, which will be in the description below. I'll also have the shop for the for a art club store in the description as well. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you.